So do you believe that society places a lot of emphasis for women on youth and beauty?
Yes.
Oh, God, yes.
Can you talk to me about that?
100%.
Oh my God.
Well, look who we have to compete with. Like, wherever you look, there's like now like women that are in their friggin' 70s looking like they're 50 because they've had everything done. They have everything done. They don't even look like themselves. And so how can you even compete with that?
Yeah.
It's so hard to compete with it.
I have always been comfortable in my skin, how I look. I mean, yes, my weight and that, it's like, oh yeah, I should be thinner, that kind of thing. And when it comes to dating or man, it is what it is. You like it, you like it. You don't, then I don't, then bye kind of thing. And, but you want to look good.
Yeah.
And, I walk by the mirror and I'm like, oh, who's that girl? I don't recognize myself anymore. You get this and these and.
Well, there's some stuff that you can't control as far as like, wrinkles, all that stuff. But I feel like some stuff you can as far as like working out.
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
As I've gotten older, I need to work out a lot more than I did, like 10 years, even like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. But that's something that I want to do for myself because I want to feel good. I want to look good. But it's still really hard to compete with, like, you can have someone my age and the person has everything. They have fake hair. They have fake
everything's fake.
And of course that person's going to look 10 times better than me.
But not necessarily.
How do you even,
I don't think so. What do you think about all that? The fake eyelashes, the fake nails?
Nancy, this is my podcast. I ask the questions.
But from a man's point of view, I don't, it's not real.
I think it.
All right. So you want to know what I do?
When it all comes off. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen that.
What happens when that thing comes off the next morning?
Exactly.
Then you're what? Okay, well.
So, my joke is that I like my women 20% plastic, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
If, you know what I mean, which is 20%.
Yeah.
But I think it becomes a point where it's too much, right?
Yes.
So I think there's definitely something to be said about like natural beauty, right? And obviously that doesn't mean like I only date girls with like plastic surgery or fake boobs, but I just feel like nowadays too, like you're not only competing with like maybe people your own age, you're competing with people who are 20, 21.
Oh, the kids, they're getting
Mm-hmm.
the Botox and this, and like, why? Yeah. You don't need it now.
But they are.
Now, do you have a daughter?
I do.
So did you see like the pressures of social media for her?
Absolutely.
Because we didn't have that when we were growing up,
she's
right?
18 years old and she is worried about her weight. She's constantly worrying about her weight. She's constantly trying to work out because everyone is looking better. They're toner, they're more fit. She's 18.
Right.
I can't ever remember when we were 18 worrying about that as much as they do.
God,
now.
I was a stick when I was 18, so no.
But
I didn't like myself because I was too skinny. Go figure.
It's just it's tough. Imagine it's tough for her like
today.
About us.
Yeah.
Who's in the prime of her life.
Right. Exactly.
When
she's worried about it.
Yeah. So that brings me to like the point of like filters, right? Yeah. And you can't tell who's truly looks like that. Like you said, you go on dates and they don't look like it. No. I guess men use filters. I guess I've used them a few times. I remember we had like a promo thing. And I was like to the editors, like, can you make me look a little more tan? Because I'm a little see-through.
A little bit of a filter, maybe a little skin tone or something, but some of them are like, oh my God.
See, I don't even know how to use the filters, honestly. I don't.
I'll show you.
Because, thank you. Because to me, okay, you know how
if I don't like the picture, just don't post it. That's it.
You see so many people on Facebook, right? Yeah. Even like, say, you're just going out on a Saturday night. You'll see the person. And you're like,
then you see the picture. It's
you look horrible. Yeah. Why would you want to do that and portray that you're absolutely beautiful on Facebook? And then when you see the person, I would rather someone be like, oh, all right, she actually looks like her picture, or maybe she looks a little bit better, but not like someone to be like, ugh, what happened? I just think that I know a lot of people use them, but I just don't care for them.
Do you see a lot of men use it on like dating apps? Do we use dating apps?
I haven't been on one in years, so I don't.
I think men use it, yes, when they're like at the gym doing the whole pic and you think they look much bigger.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny.
And then they show up and I'm like,
what's that angle? How do you take that angle?
Muscles that you had in that picture. So I don't really know how that works.
Okay.
But I don't think men use it as much as women do, but I think some men do.
So, I've heard this. I don't know if anyone, well, most of the people I know, but like men who are married go on dating apps and then.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they tell you like 6 months later?
There's a woman, and maybe I shouldn't say this. Well, there's a woman that I know of who was dating a gentleman that she met online. She was dating him for a year. And he would sleep at her house.
See, that's a red flag.
Dates, right?
Never went to his house.
This day and that day, all of a sudden, on one of the days, she gets a knock on the door, and it's her husband. He was married the whole entire time.
He was married twice?
No, he was married when he had this girlfriend on the side. But the girlfriend had no idea because he would sleep at her house. So why would she think that? But I'm like, how do you like...
That's a lot of work.
That is a
lot of life,
I heard COVID killed a lot of those relationships because they couldn't leave the house, right? Because they literally couldn't do two places.
Yeah.
So, would you get married again?
I always say no. I would live with somebody, but I don't think I would get married again unless it was this phenomenal, like it would have to be something really, really great. But no. Why? Why do I need to get married again?
Why do you say that?
I was married for 25 years. I had 2 kids. Why do I get to marry you?
Yeah.
Unless that's how I feel. If I find the right person, I might change my mind, but I don't think so.
And I've never been married.
Maybe for healthcare, but no.
Yeah.
Better healthcare. Yeah.
But like being married, so say you have a relationship, being married, not like, did the marriage change anything, or like was it the same? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't change the relationship,
right?
You know
it's still the same relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not like we're younger and we want to have children. Not that you need to be married to have children, but
if you're old school, you did. So maybe that's why some people got married.
But I just I don't think so. No.
How about you?
If you were to ask me that probably like 10 years ago, I would have been like, absolutely, I want to get married. I want to have more kids because I only have my daughter. But now, it's not a big deal to me. Like she said, if there was someone that just came along and I would totally fell in love with them and they were everything I've been looking for, then, and if he wanted to get married, then yeah. But other than that, no. Mm-mm.
So knowing what you know now, what advice would you give like 25-year-old women?
Well, I always give them advice because I was
advice.
And I try not to be.
What advice are you giving Gloria?
Just and I understand it's harder now too. It is because that was 13 years ago, whatever for me. It's just keep trying, like put yourself out there,
I did. I tried.
And you did. No, I know, but I understand there's not much out there, and
there's not.
Yeah. Even like, when our other friend that was supposed to be here today, I tell her, I try to push her a little more if someone's interested in her. But then people only do what's good for them.
You can only do what you're comfortable doing. You can tell someone to give them advice, but if they're not comfortable, like for myself, and then I'm not comfortable asking a guy out.
And who am I to give advice?
I'm just not going to do that. I'm not. I mean, I don't care if this guy is super hot and I am so attracted to him. Even if you said to me, go talk to him, go say hi to him.
But you go talk to guys. You go up to guys and talk to them.
Guys that I know, but not like say a guy I've never met.
I've seen
and I've never asked a guy out.
No, not ask out, but you go up and talk to them though. No, I didn't say ask out, but you go up to guys.
So okay. Guys. There's this guy that you want to go out with.
Yes.
You know you're not going to ask him out.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to let him know that you're interested?
I really don't. Like,
maybe this is the issue.
Well, because to me, sometimes men misunderstand that.
Yeah.
Misunderstand a look or a smile for a hookup. And that's my fear with that. Is because they're automatically gonna be like, oh, this girl wants to hook up tonight. Especially if let's say you're at a bar, even if it's a local bar, and you like a guy and you smile at them, and that guy's gonna be like,
it's flirting. I mean, well, then he's an idiot.
See, as a guy though,
it's hard. You see what I'm saying? Well, it's hard on both ends
because you have to.
So what do you do? It's hard. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just thinking because I've been out and I've had women smile at me. I just smile back.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I'm with my buddies though. So like the amount of times I've went up to them.
You're not, right?
I really don't because like I just smile back. I'm like
exactly.
So that guy I talked a lot. We were all out and there was a bunch of us. And he said, I was looking at you, but you were with all your friends. And he goes, no guy wants to go up to get rejected in front of all her. He told me that. Yeah. In front of all, her friends and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it is hard for a guy to do that.
In a group of friends, you all have like your job that you do when you're going out, especially when you're younger. So I was the one that always had to broach like the group of women. Right. And then all my guy friends would come over. My issue was that I had ADD, so I would just talk to everybody. Yeah. Right. But yeah, as a man, like if there's a group of women, like if you're talking like
it's tough.
4 or more, it's like
that's gonna be
because
gonna be tough.
But the other thing is too that the other women get jealous that you didn't talk to them, so they pulled the other ones away.
I don't think so.
You've never seen that, Nancy?
But if someone came up to her, like we're happy.
Yeah, but
you're
okay, but yeah, I get it. But you also like have that connection.
Yeah.
Right? You're friends. You want to see each other do well.
Yeah.
Not all cliques of women have that.
I know. I guess.
Yeah, we want happiness I want her to be happy. I want my friends to be happy. So you're right. It's different. Some women will be jealous and, But.
I mean, I think it's also, I don't want to say red flag, but like as a man, like if you just see a woman out by herself at a bar, you also kind of like.
But I go sometimes. I'll go to like local places that I know people.
That you know people that you're talking to. People. But that's what I'm saying. So as like a man, like if you saw a woman, you're like, okay, but like why is she alone?
Yeah. See, I always wish I had the balls to do that. I've never had the balls.
It took me a while to
go to a bar and sit and like have a drink. I just can't. I can't.
Yeah.
There's something I just can't.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think I would just have to be like, okay, like you'd have to kind of figure this out.
Right. Like I said, I'll go somewhere local where I know the people. I know people that come in. So you always end up talking. So yeah.
Do we ever give any 25-year-old advice? Remember my question? We veered off.
They don't need advice. They're gonna do what they want.
Who am I to give advice?
Good for you. Do you and have fun. And
what about
have fun? Don't be so.
At 25, you're not worried about.
Just be a good person. Don't be a dick. That's it. Be a good person and
to a 25-year-old man or woman.
Well, both. Let's go women. So you're giving advice to a 25-year-old woman. Like, what would you say? Like, now we kind of alluded to this a little bit before. Whereas, like, should that 25-year-old woman start to try to? You guys are married young. Should they? I
was 24, which. Back in the day, a little older. Yeah.
I was 27.
I was 24 when I got
nowadays people are getting married in their 30s, whatever.
Yeah.
Would you tell that woman to start to try to find the man then versus wait till you're 33, 34?
I say wait. If you meet that person, but
if you meet that person, great. But
but go enjoy your life. Go do all the things. Absolutely. Put your career first. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you might regret that later on in life.
And I think today you have to. You have to. It's so tough out there. You have to be able to take care of yourself. And
but I think it's important not to have to rely on the man.
Exactly. I've always told my daughters,
you have to
go make your own money.
Yeah.
So you never have to rely.
I think a career is definitely more important as a young person now. Because you don't want to be stuck in a relationship or a marriage, depending on you can't support yourself. You need the man to,
exactly.
You don't want to be in that situation.
So then in that case, how does like how would you or how does a woman balance that? Like, I'm on my purpose, running the business, whatever they're doing, and then also have the relationship with the guy. Like, is it hard to do that? Because like I feel like if they're doing their own thing, then that might take attention where they're at the business a lot and stuff like that. And this guy, okay, depending on who he is, if he's not on his purpose, he's gonna get
then he's not the guy for you.
But I agree with that.
Right. Yeah. He's not the guy for you, and that's it. You need to be with someone who understands that and supports that.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Exactly. You have to make it work where you both have a career and you both make.
So you're on the same page.
Yes,
right.
You need to. If not, it's just going to be a matter of time. If
till you break up.
Yeah, because if you have, I'm going to use you for example. If you have someone that works all the time, and then you have someone at home that is like, all right,
when you're coming home,
it's just at a point it's going to be nagging you, and it's going to go from like missing you and wanting to spend time with you to then now nagging you to be home because now they miss you, but it's just. And I'm sure to be on the same.
In the beginning, it's like, yes, I understand that. Yeah, I'm so good with that until they're in it. Yeah. Then it's like, oh. Wow.
So I find that women definitely want a successful man. They don't always want to put up with the attention that it takes
to get there.
Yes. Right. And I think for me, that's one of the, and I understand it. Like, I don't blame anybody. I'm like, am I fun to date? Yeah. Will I take care of you? Yeah. Am I easy to date? I don't think so. Right. Because your brain's always, now turning 40, I kind of shifted that a little bit, but like, your brain's always thinking about your business or your next move. Of course,
and it should be.
But I think that's why it's so important. For somebody like me, it's all I can talk about. Like, you have that supportive woman who stands by your side. Because like, you are going to take risks, right? And sometimes those risks aren't going to go well, right? And you're on the ship together.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want someone being like, okay, I'm going to jump onto this ship.
Yeah, right.
So you really ask for me, like, especially like, I don't talk about me, but like, I got to make sure, again, you pick the right one because the person that you marry can sink you or can take you to the moon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you won't know that until time.
Oh, I think over a year.
Yeah.
I think you see it after a while if they're always like, oh, we're on.
I might be dense.
I want to go out.
I was going to say a year. But, it might be a few months before.
Really? No, but see, here's the thing though. Like,
no, that does take a while because then it.
Like you said, the person's still
after
trying to
a while,
not themselves around you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a reading, medium, a psychic medium.
What'd she say? He or she?
My mother came through and she goes, your mother's telling me she sent you 3 men who you didn't like this one's pants, you didn't like that. Like, I was making excuses. And she said, what your mother's saying is you need to be more open. You're just, and I think when I decide you're not for me, and then I don't know if I kind of have in my head, I kind of sabotage it a little to myself. Like, I don't know what I'm afraid of. I kind of think that too. Sometimes I do. I do. I know.
What are you afraid of?
I don't know.
Gloria says you know.
I don't know if you know, but you do it. You know you do it.
I know I do.
Are you afraid of getting hurt?
Maybe. Everyone's afraid of getting hurt. Maybe. You just got to take a chance.
I don't know if I'm so jilted.
I don't even know what jilted means.
And jaded.
Jaded. I know what jaded means.
Jilted and jaded, about the same. Okay. Well, jilted is more like someone did you wrong.
If the editors can put the definition of jilted right now.
Somebody did you wrong.
I feel jilted right now.
Jaded is your way of thinking on something. And I think I'm so jaded that like my divorce was a really bad divorce. And it took me a long time to come out of that. And I don't know if I think deep down, let that get in the way of your happiness. I know, but I think deep down, I just don't want someone to hurt me again. So I take it upon myself to.
Yeah, you know how many times I've been hurt
after
my divorce?
No. Oh, I've been hurt. I've been hurt in between.
I just get right back out there. What am I going to do?
Oh, I've been hurt, but I think I've had enough of that kind of thing.
But if you don't take a chance, you never know.
My thing, I have taken chances, but I think it has to be someone that really says, okay. Like, for me to say, okay, I look for like the stupidest thing.
I know you do. I know.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like the dirty car.
She does. She does.
So tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I think especially nowadays, I think one of the big things, like one of the big turn-ons for women, is that if the guy makes them feel safe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We're not sold on that idea.
Safe. When you say safe, I think of someone hovering over. Like, I like my space. But I get that too.
But when I say safe, I don't
know
mean
what you mean. Like, you feel, I know exactly what you mean.
And then why do you think you interpreted it like that? Because you're jilted?
That's the first thing that comes to my mind though when you say that. But I know what you mean by it.
Okay.
You just feel good with that person. It feels like home. That person feels like home.
I love to be with someone that I feel safe around, and I know that I'm protected, and like nothing's gonna happen, and
right, you're safe.
I'm safe, and that makes me feel good.
Of course, it does. Yeah.
We talked about this on a podcast I did similar to this, with the fact, like, as a man, traditional man, right? If we're on a date, it could be a first date. If shit goes down, I literally have to die to protect you while you escape, right? And especially as a self-defense instructor, I can't be like, Nancy, you just stay here. I'll be back, right? Like, I have to like literally do that. And I think that's, again, if we're talking traditional gender roles, which that's my generation. So that's what I do. Okay, yep, I can take that knife, right? While Nancy gets to run to the car.
I'll give you an example. See, now, when you talk like that, so my ex-husband, big guy, bodybuild, like he used to bodybuild and all that, big guy, very strong. Like back in the day, we used to go to Barry's and all. There were fights and stuff. Yeah, there were fights, and he was very jealous and this stuff. But I mean, I always, even if a fight broke out for something else, I always I felt very safe with him. I did, and I think when I'm with someone, like I have never come across a man that was so. In that way, like...
You've never felt that safe?
I never felt like if, something happened or broke out, I feel like, they'd run the other way kind of thing.
You're saying you have felt like all the other men would run away?
I do. I've never felt
versus
like
your
I have never...
ex-husband.
Right. And not that, I'm just talking in that sense. He was always very... he could he could take care of a situation, take care of himself.
Isn't that a turn on in a man?
Yes.
It is. 100%. Yes, it is. 100%. Yes. And I've never come across that with...
So that brings me to another good point. Women nowadays, and they say they want a man who's in touch with his emotions. He's emotional, right? As a young child, my mom raised me, obviously. My mom's an Italian mother, worries about everything. I was super emotional as a child, right? When I started liking girls, probably when I was like 5, 6, 7. No, a little older. I mean, I liked them then, but I learned this later. Like, you can't be that emotional with women or they are not going to give you the time of day. Now, that's from my perspective. And I totally think that is true. And I was talking to Barry Fleet, who wrote a book on the podcast. And he was like, men want to be in touch with their emotions. I get that on a visceral level. But I was like, and he's like, women like, whatever he said, women like that. And I was like, yeah, but you can't be that emotional because you'll get no women, right? Yeah. Because like as women, from my perspective, you don't want a dude who's just in the corner crying all the time, right? Because that's going to be a turnoff because that man's not going to take care of anything.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And I listen, I get it. I'm talking to traditional women because that's our generation. Yeah. I'm sure if I had two 20-year-olds on this, they'd be flaming me. They'd be throwing daggers. I'd be like, I get that.
Yes.
But what do you think about that? Like, again, can a man cry? Yeah. Can he cry every day? I wouldn't suggest that.
No.
That would turn me off. Yeah. Because there's nothing wrong with a guy showing affection or their feelings. That's
or emotion if something sad is happening
tragically, then great. I'll be supportive.
Yeah.
But when you're having meltdowns over little stuff, like that's gonna be a turn off big time for me. Like I don't like that.
Yeah.
I want more like a manly man and not someone that's gonna, do that.
He has to be a manly man, but he also has to be sensitive too. It's like it's the same thing.
You want a little bit of both, but you don't want someone that's gonna be like
so I'll give you
So
I'll give you a funny story. So I was on the date and she was younger, she was 25. And so for me, it's a difference of generations. So like, and I understand kind of what they're taught now, right? Society. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, whatever. And she's like, yeah, like, so, whatever. She's like, I want a man who's, is in touch with his emotions, all this stuff. And then she goes, but I also want him to be able to provide for me and do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, so basically you just told me you want a traditional man. That's exactly what you just told me. Because I think biologically, that's what women are programmed for. Yeah. Right? If you were a cave woman and caveman, you would go after the caveman that could take care of you, that could bring back the dinosaur meat, that could keep you safe. Yeah. Right? That's in your genes. And as a man, like, I'd want to be the strongest caveman. Right? So I could do that. Yeah. And I think that's where society today is a little all over the place. Yeah. Because now, listen, you could be whatever you want in life. Yeah. That's you. Right? Mm-hmm. But society is teaching men, if I can just speak to men, to be way more feminine. Right? And listen, if that's what you want to be, I'm fine with that. But I think that if you want to attract the woman that you want, if you want to live the life you want to be, you have to at least have those masculine traits to take you through life. Mm-hmm. Right? Thoughts on that? And I know that can be controversial, but like that's from my perspective. And again, I don't care what people do in their life. That's your life. Right. I'm just saying from what I've seen, if we're too feminine, right, you're not going to attract the women that you want to attract. And as a traditional man, like, I like more feminine women. Right. That's what I like. Right. Like if you're trying to be manly, that's not attractive to me. Right? You can do you. We just won't date.
Right. Exactly.
I'm fine with that.
Exactly. No, I get it.
I like more of a traditional guy.
Me too.
Personally.
I do too.
That's just always happened.
Yeah.
I can't.
So then my last question, because this is a hot topic now when people talk about, and we've talked about on the podcast before, when the buzzword today is like, you have toxic masculinity. You heard that? Basically, I would say it's a buzzword now where like, if a guy does anything that's, they say so masculine, right? Like it's toxic, like it's too much masculinity. However, like when they say it's more about like, if a guy is being abusive or an asshole or something, traits. Okay, what's a masculine trait? Aggressive. Right. Well, if they're super aggressive, that's toxic masculinity. Yeah. Okay. Listen, if a guy's being an asshole or he's abusing somebody or he's being a dick, that's not being masculine. No, that's being an asshole.
It's being an asshole.
You know what I'm saying? So I had this. So when I go to the gym, I have my headphones in. I do my own thing, right? Wear my flip-flops. I never take my headphones off. It happened to be, I think, Martin Luther King Day, so I didn't have to come here. I came here late. So two women who I'd see at the gym were talking, and I always have my headphones on, usually Bon Jovi. Yeah. But I stopped my iPods or whatever, took it out, and I listened to that conversation. Mm-hmm. And I never do this. I was listening to them talk about this, and they were talking about toxic masculinity and all this stuff. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to listen, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay. Because they'd seen me there, so they knew I wasn't that creepy. And she's going on and on and on about this toxic masculinity. Mm-hmm. And I go, hey, like, I have a podcast. I just want to, once you say you have a podcast, like I've done many things in my life. Yeah. You say you have a podcast, people are like, oh, wow. Yeah. So anyway, so that like got me into the conversation. And I'm having this dialogue with her. And I think she was a behavioral therapist or whatever. Yeah. And she was, basically the tone of how she was talking was like, I hate men, right? Men are assholes. And she brings up toxic masculinity. So I was like, I did my set. So I'm like, hey, so like when you say toxic masculinity, what exactly do you mean? Yeah. Okay, they're like this, and this. And I was like, yeah, that's not being a man. That's being an asshole.
There's a difference.
Because a man doesn't act like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Right? Exactly. Like I'm not, listen, I'm not.
And that's
a difference.
That's someone who has this something else going on that's.
Yeah, so later on I got into like what it was. And I was like, you know what? Like you just, from my perspective, I was like, you just need a man that makes you feel safe. And then you wouldn't think like that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But, women put on this like hard exterior, which I understand. Right. But they, it's like they have these buzzwords now where like kids who are younger, who didn't grow up with grandparents like I did, right? They don't know how to act anymore. They're confused.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's again, like, you can be manly. I'm talking to men. You can be manly. You can take care of people. You can be you, right? That doesn't mean you're rude to people or you're abusive or anything like that. That's not being a man. Yeah, no. Right? And I'll give you another one. Like, as a man, like if you get rejected, you take your licks and move on.
Oh no, guys get mad.
Yeah.
They get mad.
Yeah.
I've seen conversations on a girl's phone where like she rejected him, and then she shows me, she's like, hey, look, it was like, and then he insulted her. And then he goes, he was like, you'll never find a man better than me. They never met. I'm sitting right next to her. Yeah. And and then he's like, and then the next one was like, I don't know why you're acting like this. I didn't do anything to offend you.
Red flag,
but
red flag.
So that's a red flag, right?
Yeah.
And but that's what happens today. Men just get super mad. That's not being a man.
No.
Right? That's being...
No, I don't respect that.
I went on a match date early in my time there and met him out up in Smithfield.
Did you get in his car?
No, I met him at the...
We've learned.
What's up there, an Applebee's or something, just for drinks. We had a nice date. It was really nice. He lived in Cumberland. And at the time, I was bartending part-time. So that was a Friday night. And I said, he wanted to take me out Saturday. So I said, sure. I said, but no, I said, Saturday wouldn't be good because I bartend all day. You know, I get off my shift.
Did he come there?
I get off my shift at like 7. So it was left at that. I said, maybe next Friday or whatever. So the next morning, I have to be in the bar at 11:30 because we opened at noon. My phone is like blowing up. And I wasn't answering him because I'm getting ready. I'm working. I had told him I was working, blowing up. So finally, like a few hours later, I text him. I said, I'm working. I can't talk right now, whatever. And I was like annoyed by it. I just met you once. So he says to me, oh my God, once a bar rat, always a bar rat. I said, wow, goodbye, block. That is like the biggest red flag. Like, because I wasn't paying attention to him. Is that that's like crazy to me.
Yeah,
that's a sign of crazy. Someone you just met the night before.
Yeah, emotional instability.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that is a huge red flag too is when, and you kind of alluded to it, and I'm saying this as a self-defense instructor. And one of the best books I didn't write this one, that I read was The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker. And he has a list of like red flags. And like one of them is when they try to rush the relationship, right? Yeah. Again, they're pushing for marriage in 2 weeks. Yeah. Like that's a huge red flag. I don't think all women know this, right? Like if you have somebody, again.
That's a turnoff to me. That is. That's like,
But listen, I mean, you know, some people can be very charismatic and when they do it.
It's flattering,
but there are men.
This person wants to be with me so bad.
There are men that are very smooth and like you said, very charismatic and, you know.
Okay. My last question to end this podcast. This wasn't on the list, by the way. But like, what's up with dudes sending dick pictures to like women?
Oh my God.
I've never received one.
Can you stop?
I didn't do it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Kidding.
I'm saying to every man out there, please stop doing that because you're never going to get a good woman. You're going to get a trashy woman. You're going to get a slutty woman. You're going to get not what unless that's what you're looking for, then, you know, knock yourself out. But that's a huge turnoff. Like it's just I don't care how small, big. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The fact that you're sending it. No, I don't care what it looks like. The fact that you're sending it.
Yeah.
I'm never going to respond to you.
Yeah, and as a guy,
it's offensive.
It's very offensive. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how it's not illegal. Right, because like you can't do that in Walmart. I mean, I'm sure some people do, but you can't be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right.
But you can I can just text it to you.
Phone, yeah.
Like this was years ago. There was a guy. He was a firefighter. So
he had a hose.
He just that was his thing. He just thought that was like a thing to do, and I was like. And I really liked him. I liked this guy. I thought he was, you know, we went on a few dates. I'm like, this guy's like good. He, you know, he had kids. And then all of a sudden it was just like, that's all he would send. And I was just so turned off. No. So
well, like, would he send it in the morning?
It was
because Nancy said that sex starts in the morning. So maybe he was, Nancy got a hold of him.
I'm just talking metaphorically.
It was just, come on.
Not literally.
That was a bad choice of words.
I know. But, you know, I'm going back to my sex starts in the morning. Like,
we don't like it.
Good morning, beautiful. You know, right there. That's a check mark point. You know, I think a lot of men don't realize it's the
little
things that make the biggest difference.
Give me 2 examples.
Like just
thinking of you. I love a thinking of you text. I think
you look great.
You look
but
beautiful.
okay, as a guy, I would like to know.
Yes.
And not all the time. It's
not all
like
the time.
Not like that, because then that's not genuine. It has to be genuine.
Or it comes off as needy.
Right. Yeah.
And no, we're not saying all the time.
No.
But like how soon though, right? Like, listen, are we a month in? Are we
you
like...
just had a great date. You had a wonderful date.
Can I get you something for breakfast?
After the first date.
Stuff.
But here's the thing though. You say you want this, but I'm going to ask you this question.
Go ahead.
After a first date, if he's like, hey, beautiful, really missed you. Like...
Not after that.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to tell the men who watch this podcast.
I'm not saying this is what in a relationship already. That's
you're in a relationship. Okay. If you're in a relationship, couple months, 3 months,
whatever,
like that, just thinking of you, like that is just something so small that takes 2 minutes, but it makes a girl it makes you like so like that.
The little things. Go put gas in my car
and do whatever you want.
Whatever.
No,
but
you know what I mean?
It's so like, easy. It is
okay. We're going out tonight. Let's go.
It's so simple.
It's
so simple. It really is.
Okay, so that's my one. I want one more secret.
Okay. Oh God, secret.
What could a man do or say, where you've been dating and you're like, wow, like I have my guy.
I'll tell you one thing that maybe like.
Is this violent girl code? Or are we good? I don't want
to. No, this is maybe like just a couple of guys, 2 or 3 guys have done personally for me. And I just thought that was like the most sweetest, kindest thing. Like send flowers to work. This is like a few months into it, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like just because, work is hard for everybody. So of course you want to like, the best part was like someone brought flowers and they were like, these are for you. And I'm like, what? And it's from
But isn't that fun to show your coworkers that like...
No, it was for me. Like that was like, and that too.
Yeah,
like, they made them jealous. Like
your husband didn't get you anything.
Yeah. I just think that just...
Who's sending her flowers?
It's just such a nice thing that men don't really think about doing anymore. But when they do, it's like, for me personally, that's like a huge...
So like an unexpected gift.
Yes.
Would you agree?
And it doesn't have to be huge. That's not like, that's not going to cost you $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's something small, or like, just see if you're coming to pick me up, bring some flowers or bring a bottle of wine. Like just something little that just make it so much better.
Okay. So my last, go ahead. You want to say something?
I was going to say, what can they say to you? Like in the beginning of a relationship, I
like your cookies.
That's a good one for you.
That's a good one. Yeah. How can I say this? Sometimes it can be too much in the beginning. Like it comes across as phony.
I think as a guy, you have to play the game.
Yeah. You know who's like, I know when someone is.
Right. Don't just say it just to say it. But you know when someone's they're really just thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what is your advice? A guy wants to ask you out. How's he do it?
Just come up to you. Just ask me.
Yeah.
And say what?
Say what? Hi, I saw you standing there. Don't come up to me and say, hey, you want to go out? I mean, you got to talk a little
just be
bit.
Like,
okay, so go up, talk a little bit.
Talk a little bit.
Then
just
you'll get the vibe. You'll be able
bit.
to know if she's into you. Just come up and say hi and just small talk, and then you'll be able to tell if like that person's really into you or not, and then just say, would you like to go out to dinner?
Okay. If they get your number, should they wait to text you?
No. See, I don't think that's a thing anymore.
No.
The 3-day thing.
That's like so.
I mean, I think 3 days is a long time.
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
Well, I got, the text, can I come over? Like at half an hour later.
I think if you're interested in the person.
If you're interested, text the next day or something and say, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah,
would you like to get together? I think when they wait, that's
stupid.
That's bullshit. Yeah, it's so stupid.
The waiting just makes you think that how many numbers did they get that night, and just feeling it out. How many dates are they going
Because
on?
I think at the end of the day, whoever you're with, whether it's you're asking them out on a first date, you've been dating for a year, you're married, like the woman wants to feel special.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And the man wants to feel appreciated.
Yes.
Right. I think that's what it really comes down to. If you're able to do that for your partner, I think you're definitely going to win, which is why I also think that like you want to pick somebody that, one of my favorite quotes I heard is that the person that you marry has to be in love with the person that you are and the person that you want to become. Right. Yeah. So I really think that, and I've dated girls that.
And that's tough because that's tough to know what that is too.
Yeah. And listen, I've dated women who, well, number one, already have an issue because I'm around women all the time.
No, that's
right. And
a red flag.
Yeah,
that's your business.
And I'm like,
and that's their insecurity.
Yeah,
which I understand. You know, and not that they ever said don't do it, obviously, but like I'm aware. Like I get it. I understand. But there's definitely been people I've dated where I'm like, hey, these are my plans for the future, and I remember at least one being like, no, I don't think you should do that, or like having resistance to it, whether it was said or nonverbal. And in my head, I was like, oh, that might, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I thought this was super fun.
Yes,
it
was. Right? And I appreciate you guys being candid. Part two?
Yeah.
Did you just invite yourself back onto my podcast?
Nancy, I guess you really did have fun, huh?
No, but this is great.
No, thank you for having us. This was fun.
What do you want to say, Nancy?
I got an idea for another podcast.
What is
that me and my daughter always wanted to do. How divorce affected her and me, and then we have a lot of jokes about it too, like how she was a senior in high school and that was her excuse when she didn't hand in an assignment or whatever. I got pulled over by a cop and I just got divorced. Everything was I just got divorced, and we have a running joke about that.
So Nancy wants to do a podcast with her daughter.
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, we can definitely do it.
How it because I want to tell you everyone when I got divorced, I told my kids were 21 and 18. They said, "Oh, your kids are older. It's no big." Can I tell you? I think it was worse for them because their life, like mine, got turned upside down. That's all they ever knew. It's not like they were 5. It's bad at any age, but a younger child will adjust, and it was just as bad for them as
because they were adults.
Yeah. And I actually, I had heard that children from divorced parents, it does affect them.
It does.
I didn't realize it till I experienced it. And dated somebody from divorced parents.
It changed my daughter's personality. My younger daughter, she was home. The other one was waiting.
Yeah, and I think it also affects things like trust.
Yes.
Like, if you're obviously I dated women, like how you see the man.
Yes.
Because it relates to how your father was, and like, and one of the one of the red flags is definitely the relationship between the woman and her dad. Right? If that's not a good relationship, it translates over to when you date them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I've definitely seen stuff like that, but that's a podcast we'll definitely have to do.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Look at you. Thank you. That was
my
fun.
pleasure. Hello, my name is Dr. Marc Bochner. Don't forget to check out my new book, Pug Learns to Believe. Hey guys, Dr. Marc here. Now I know a lot of you want to know how we get all these amazing results with our clients, and it comes down to 3 things. The first is fun fitness classes that burn a lot of calories. 2 is giving you an accountability coach to make sure you stay on track and get the best results. And 3 is the nutrition. Included in the nutrition is our food supplements. So we pair with Prestige Labs because I feel they are the best, they have integrity, and they get great results. These are actually the supplements that I take as well. Here's the awesome part. By clicking the link below, you can save 40% off the retail price. So you need that link to actually save 40%. If you just go to the normal site without my link, you're paying full price, okay? So these are the supplements my clients use. If you are interested, definitely click the link below and it'll tell you all about them.